Welcome to Road to Ownership. My name is Wes. Today we're going to continue with this segment. We call this segment The Call to Ownership, because all we do here, we take time to call families out of rentalship to ownership. We're going from state to state, from city to city, asking you to leave this long path, those years of paying rent, to go towards ownership. Today we're going to visit the state of Hawaii. But before we go to the state of Hawaii, I want to ask you for a quick favor. Please, just take 1 second and subscribe to this channel. It will be greatly appreciated. The state of Hawaii is very far away from the motherland. It's a small state in population. Its population is just 1.4 million people. It is the 41st most populous state in the country. Now, the average price of a house in Hawaii is $730,000 compared to $374,000 for the state, for the country as a whole, which shows how expensive a house is in Hawaii. The homeownership rate in Hawaii is 58.3% compared to 65.6% for the nation. And we always list here this ideal number, 80%. We believe in the land of opportunity. Homeownership rate should be at least 80%. But the homeownership rate for blacks in Hawaii is just 27%. Some of you might be asking, are there any blacks in Hawaii? 1%. It's not a lot, but there are blacks in the state of Hawaii. Now, the living index, the cost of living index in the state of Hawaii is the highest in the country. It is 196.3 compared to 100, which is the national index. So it is very expensive. One thing I want to tell you, if you're watching this, if you live in a state where it is too expensive for you to be a homeowner, you might be thinking about moving. You know, you might, maybe you can find, maybe you have family, or maybe you have a relative or a good friend who lives somewhere else in a different state that's more affordable, where you can become an owner rather than renting for years and years and years. There are many factors that affect homeownership. One is a job. Without a job, you cannot buy a house. Second is influence. If you are around a bunch of renters, people who doesn't even think that it's possible for them to be a homeowner, that will influence your thinking and your path. Okay? Affordability. Some states are just too expensive, like the state of Hawaii. If you live there and you're renting, you've been paying that rent, $1,000, $2,000 every single month. You know, maybe there is a place you can go to, where you can actually become a homeowner. Now, this is the call. This is time for the call. For the few folks in the state of Hawaii who will see this video, if you live in the state of Hawaii, you've been working for many years, 8 years, 10 years, paying that rent. You're not sick. Your family, your children are not sick, where all your savings are going toward surviving. You're not a student. I'm asking you to take a second and rethink this decision to remain a renter forever. I believe that homeownership is the most reliable path to building wealth in this country. And some families come from a bloodline where there has not been much wealth. And I believe the only way they can change this situation and go towards ownership and create a different path for the next generation is to go towards home ownership very early in their working years. So I am calling you out today. Today is your day. It's your moment to decide if you're going to continue on this path of renting, on this path of giving the largest portion of your monthly income towards renting, to think about ownership. You might have to leave the state. You might have to move somewhere else to make this happen, due to the fact that the state of Hawaii is very expensive. But I'm putting you on the path right now. I'm planting the seed, and I'm asking you to help me plant the seed of ownership in your family so your children will know. Okay? Tell your spouse, tell your parents, tell your close friends that your family has been called out of rentalship towards ownership. Out of rentalship towards ownership. Get on the path to ownership. I believe that we are living in the age, we are entering the age of asset ownership. And the easiest path, the low-hanging fruits towards ownership, in my opinion, is home ownership. Okay? And I'm asking you to leave this path and change towards ownership. You might say, you know what? This guy don't know my life. It's so expensive to live out here. How am I going to be able to buy a house? Start. I'm not asking you to go buy a house tomorrow. I'm asking you to put the plan together and start. Start on the word. Start on the word. Start to learn about credit, okay? See how you can save some money, okay? See, maybe there is a city, there is an area that is more affordable. Start to research and go on that path. I'm calling you out of rentalship to ownership. This is your call today. Thank you for your time. This was the show for today.